From the News and Current Affairs Department, here the Blaze Communications Network Incorporated. Good evening, welcome to News Point on today, Wednesday, June 24, 2026. My name is Oliver McIntosh, presenting in the headlines. Tensions are reportedly escalating at the Central Agricultural Research Institute as the former head of the Livestock and Fisheries Program, Yankwe Joma, accuses the institution's Director General of dismissing him due to his stance on accountability. The government of Liberia dismisses reports linking the country's diplomatic punch system to the drugs trafficking investigation, says there is no evidence connecting the system to the transportation of illicit substances. A group of aggrieved citizens on Wednesday gathered near the home of President Joseph Boakai, demanding payment for cleaning services they provided for several months. And away from home, France confirms its first case of Ebola, involving a doctor who recently returned from a humanitarian mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The news bulletins post are packaged onto this presentation of the program. But first, Stephen Talu and the news bulletin. Stephen, good evening.
Good evening, Oliver. Tensions are reportedly escalating at the Central Agricultural Research Institute following allegations of wrongful dismissal and accountability concerns involving senior officials of the institution. The head of the Livestock and Fisheries Program at CARI, Nyankwe Jonah, has accused the institution's Director General, Dr. Arthur Kane, of removing him from his position because of his stance on accountability and transparency. Speaking on OKFM Monuve on Tuesday, June 23, Jonah claimed that Dr. Kanua is demanding that he account for electric office equipment which he said was never turned over to him during the transition period. According to Jonah, the items were allegedly taken by Dr. Kanua when he previously served as head of the Livestock Fishery Program at Gary. Nyankwe Jonah has also accused Margibi County Senator Nathaniel Mageo and Bon County District number 3 Representative Josiah Marvin Cole of interfering in the affairs of Akari. Juma alleged that the two lawmakers removed qualified and competent officials from the institution and replaced them with political loyalists. He claimed that such actions contributed to the decline of CARI during the administration of former President George Weah and former Vice President Joe Howard Taylor. The government of Liberia has dismissed as false reports linking the country's diplomatic approach system to an ongoing drug trafficking investigation, insisting that there is no evidence connecting the system to the transportation of illicit substances. Addressing the media at the Charles Agbanya Press Hall in Monrovia on Tuesday, Information Minister Gerald Lehman Pierce said no investigation involving the diplomatic putsch system is currently underway. He described attempts to associate the system with the ongoing narcotics probe as misleading and irresponsible. Minister Pierre explained that the diplomatic approach system is used exclusively for the secure transmission of official documents and correspondence between the government of Liberia and its embassies, consulates, and permanent missions abroad. Meanwhile, Minister Pierre has reaffirmed the government of Liberia's commitment to strengthening the country's health sector and supporting efforts aimed at combating disease outbreaks. He said the government remains committed to working with health authorities and partners to ensure the necessary resources and support are provided to protect public health. A group of aggrieved citizens on Wednesday gathered near the residence of President Joseph Boakai, demanding payment for cleaning services they claimed prevalent for several months. The protesters, who assembled before the house of the president, alleged that they were recruited to clean parts of the streets along the route leading to the president's residence, but have not received their salaries. Speaking to this station, the spokesperson for the group, Moriba Kande, claimed that an executive protection service officer identified as Matthew Walker recruited more than 100 individuals to clean areas from ELW Junction to Duazon. According to Kande, Walker promised to pay each worker $50 per month for the service provided, but alleges that despite working for the past 3 months, they have not received any payment. Meanwhile, one of the female members of the group, Fatu George, vowed to continue joining protests near the home of the president until payments are made. When contacted by telephone, the accused EPS officer, Matthew Walker, acknowledged that payments are owed to the workers and appealed for patience. He assured the group that they will receive 2 months' salary payment on Friday, June 26, 2006. Former Assistant Minister Benedict Calabar says the Congress for Democratic Change has remained resilient despite what he described as years of suppression and intimidation since its establishment 22 years ago. Speaking during activities marking the party's 22nd anniversary in Grange County, Calabar said the CDC was founded to promote the interests of ordinary Liberians and ensure that citizens play a greater role in shaping the country's future. He argued that the party has continued to represent the aspirations of the masses despite political challenges and setbacks. According to him, CDC remains committed to its founding principles and grassroots support base. Calabar said the anniversary celebration serves as an opportunity for party members and supporters to reflect on the CDC's journey and reaffirm their commitment to the party's vision for Liberia. The Director General of the Witness Protection Agency, Maxwell Grisby, says the agency has developed a draft 5-year strategic plan to guide its operations and strengthen witness and whistleblower protection in Liberia. Speaking on OKFM, Grisby said the draft document will be reviewed by an international consultant through the United Nations Human Rights Office before being validated by stakeholders including civil society organizations and technical experts. He added that the agency has also launched its 2026 work plan focusing on public awareness, partnerships, staff recruitment, and institutional development. Grisby noted that the agency is now operating from 8 headquarters in Mama Point and is preparing a decentralization plan for consolidation in the 2027 national budget. At the same time, the Witness Protection Agency Director General Maxwell Grisby says individuals with information on corruption and other criminal cases can seek protection through the agency's website, email, and other communications channel. Montserrat County District Number 2 Representative Sekou Kane has announced that rehabilitation work on the Midland Town Road is expected to begin shortly following engagement with the Ministry of Public Works. According to Representative Kane, one of his first actions upon taking office was to consult with community leaders across the district who identified the rehabilitation of the Midland Town Road as a top priority for residents. He said the concerns raised by citizens prompted a series of discussions with the Ministry of Public Works aimed at advancing the long-awaited project. The District 2 lawmaker disclosed that the government has now concluded negotiations and finalized the necessary agreements to allow the projects to move forward. Representative Kane acknowledged that the initiative experienced delays over the past 2 years, but noted that authorities have reached a point where construction activities can begin. He thanked residents of the district for their patience and continued support throughout the process. The national chairman of the Unity Party, Reverend Dr. Luto Tape has disclosed that the Unity Party is engaging in building strategic alliances with individuals and groups for the opposition. Speaking in an interview on State Radio Wednesday, Dr. Tape said the engagements are aimed at fostering national cohesion and broadening support for the government's development objectives. The UP chairman at the same time calling on Liberians to remain united and supportive of the government as it works to address the country's challenges and improve the quality of life for the citizenry. In another development, Ravitabe has addressed concern from some partisans about jobs and opportunities in government, urging supporters to remain patient. According to him, while the government is making steady progress in the creation of opportunities for Liberians, people need to be aware that no government has the capacity to absorb all of its supporters and citizens. Former legislative liaison to the Liberian Senate, Sanu Johnson, has expressed concern over what he described as the government's slow response to the recent drug seizure case, valued at approximately $90 million US. Recently, state authorities announced the seizure of cocaine valued at more than 19 million, which government says it is investigating. Speaking Tuesday on the matter, Johnson claimed that the Bwaka administration is not adequately prepared to tackle drug trafficking and the sale of narcotics across the country. According to him, since the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency announced the seizure, there has been no swift action taken to prosecute those allegedly connected to the case. Meanwhile, Sando Johnson has disclosed plans to contest the 2029 senatorial election in Bome County. He stated that he is preparing to challenge a Cuban Senator Edwin Snow for county's Senate seat during the upcoming election cycle. Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn is urging government officials to be cheerful, givers, and remain committed to serving the Liberian people during the government's 6-year tenure. Speaking on Wednesday, June 24, 2026, during an honoring and appreciation ceremony held in his honor by citizens of Yahweh Mason Statutory District in Nima County, Vice President Kuhn cautioned public officials against neglecting ordinary citizens who voted them into office. He emphasized that even small acts of support or assistance to people in need can make a significant difference in their lives. The vice president encouraged the government appointees to support their communities, counties, and hometowns by empowering others and creating meaningful impact. Meanwhile, Vice President Kuhn has reflected on the leadership legacy of former Nima County Senator Brian Johnson. He described the late senator as a man of influence and grace who helped shape the minds and political careers of several leaders from Nima County and other parts of Liberia. And away from Liberia, France has confirmed its first case of Ebola involving a doctor who recently returned from a humanitarian mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The French Ministry of Health said on Wednesday that the doctor was immediately admitted to a specialized medical facility and is currently in stable condition. The case comes as the Democratic Republic of Congo continues to battle a new Ebola outbreak declared last month. Health experts, however, believe the virus had been spreading in the country for several weeks before the outbreak was officially announced. The authorities in DRS Congo have reported that more than 260 people have died from the virus, while about 1,000 others have been infected. A confirmed case in France marks the first Ebola infection recorded in Europe linked to the current outbreak. Base News.
Indeed, many thanks to Stephen Taludet for the news bulletin. Is a regular feature on News Point. If you're just joining us, this is a reminder that you're listening to 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. Stories we follow in today's presentation of the program Tensions are reportedly escalating at the Central Agriculture Research Institute as the former head of the Livestock and Fishery Program, Yankwai Joman, accuses the institution's Director General of dismissing him due to his stance on accountability. Government of Liberia dismisses reports linking the country's diplomatic punch system to the drugs trafficking investigation, says there is no evidence connecting the system to the transportation of illicit substances. A group of aggrieved citizens on Wednesday gathered near the home of President Joseph Boakai demanding payment for cleaning services they provided for several months. And in foreign news, found out that France confirms its first case of Ebola involving a doctor who recently returned from a humanitarian mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Still ahead, the voices of our newsmakers post our package on today's presentation of the program. Go strictly and pick up our first development. Tensions are reportedly escalating at the Central Agriculture Research Institute following allegations of wrongful dismissal and accountability concerns involving senior officials of the institution. The head of the Livestock and Fisheries Program at Kari Yankwai Joma has accused the institution's Director General, Dr. Arthur Kanwan, of removing him from his position because of stance on accountability and transparency. Speaking on OKF in Monrovia on Tuesday, June 23, Joma claimed that Dr. Kanwan is demanding that he account for electronic office equipment, which he said was never turned over to him during the transition period.
Are in trouble today. When Ellen Johnson was leaving office, you remember former President Weah said all presidential appointees should turn office over to the HR or the controller. When Dr. Kanwan was leaving, let this go for the record, when he was leaving 2018, he took away the laptops, the printer, the photocopier, the projector, everything from the office. I had just come back 2018 and I was written to replace him as head for Livestock Fishery Program. I called Dr. Kanwan and requested those materials that he took away and he said they were his. Now, 2023, President Boakai wins. He comes to office. Dr. Kanwan is appointed as Director General proper for Kari. Now he's requesting for report. Where do I get the instruments from? Previously, he was working there. He was working as Director for Animal. And then when he kicked me, he got angry and began to hunt me. 2018, when he was leaving, when he took away those items. Now, how did you know? When the Ombudsman did an investigation sometimes last year, and this is the report, it was noted. Dr. Kanwan said, yes, I took away those items. Yes, did you take away? Yes. Were they yours? He said, well, they were mine. How did you know? He said, well, I bought them. He said, do you have receipt? He said, well, I don't have receipt. You wouldn't have receipt for laptop, projector, photocopiers, everything down to cabinet. One receipt you wouldn't have. And so he got angry with me. And that's how the Ombudsman launched an investigation. But remember, so the Ombudsman office under President Boakai, this is a serious government. President Boakai went on the 11th of December 2024. He signed two instruments. One was the performance contract. The second, the code of conduct. It's a code of conduct that gave rise to the Ombudsman office. And yet the Ombudsman office has come up with recommendations and Dr. Kanwan has refused to comply. Okay, in this recommendation, he has requested to do a public apology and publish in 2 or 3, I think, daily newspaper, widely read daily newspaper. He should work with me as head for Livestock Fishery Program. He should capacitate my office with office gadget. Nothing. My office is completely empty. My situation at the Central Agricultural Research Institute, where I serve currently. I'm a civil servant. Now, Dr. Kanwan, what he has done, because of this report, he has had the office in Banga, the Crime Services Division, using his Kingsmen. They had me arrested on February 22nd and I was incarcerated at Banga Central Prison. He quote unquote said, well, Dr. Joma want to kill me. He had his colleague to have me in jail for 2 things. One, terroristic threat and criminal attempt to commit murder because of the Ombudsman report. So he got angry because of that. But that is in court. We just started the case, so I cannot discuss it. But he sued me for disorderly conduct and menacing. Then the case had not started. He sent a dismissal letter, spread it on the pavement to my resident, to my office at Kari, that he is dismissing me. So the question there is, you have gone to court. The case had not even commenced. Do you have the authority or the capability to dismiss someone? But this is why.
Yankwe Joma has also accused Magibi County Senator Nathaniel Mangill and Bond County District Number 3 Representative Josiah Marvin Cole of interfering in the affairs of Kari. Joma alleged that two lawmakers removed qualified and competent officials from the institution and replaced them with political loyalists. We go to our next story. The government of Liberia has dismissed as false reporting linking the country's diplomatic point system to an ongoing drug trafficking investigation, insisting that there is no evidence connecting the system to the transportation of illicit substances. Addressing the media at the Charles Bunyan Press Hall in Monrovia on Tuesday, Information Minister Jeremy Pia said no investigation involving the diplomatic pawn system is currently underway. He described attempts to associate the system with the ongoing narcotics issue as misleading and irresponsible.
Nigeria has taken note of reports and commentary circulating in the public suggesting that Liberia's diplomatic court system is under investigation or was used in connection with the recent narcotic seizure currently being investigated by the Joint Security Task Force and the Ministry of Justice. Government categorically rejects these claims as false, baseless, and entirely unsupported by any facts. There is no investigation involving the diplomatic court system, nor is there any evidence whatsoever linking Liberia's diplomatic court services to narcotic trafficking or the transportation of illicit substances. Attempts to associate diplomatic court system with the ongoing drug investigation are irresponsible, they are misleading, and they appear intended to create confusion around a matter that remains on active investigation by competent authorities. The diplomatic court system is used exclusively for the transmission of official government correspondence, confidential diplomatic communications, and authorized documents between the government of Liberia and its embassies, consulates, permanent missions abroad. International deliveries are transported through authorized courier and postal services, while local dispatches are delivered through designated dispatch personnel. The system is governed by strict international protocols and procedures and does not transport liquid or other unauthorized substances. Government also wishes to clarify reports concerning a Liberian national associated with the Ramos International Airport who reported. So the government.
Meanwhile, Minister Pia has reaffirmed the government of Liberia's commitment to strengthening the country's health sector and supporting efforts aimed at combating disease outbreaks. He said the government remains committed to working with health authorities are provided to protect public health.
The National Public Health Institute continues to maintain a robust disease surveillance system across all the 15 counties through close collaboration with the Ministry of Health, county health teams, and the community surveillance. That the surveillance teams remain actively engaged in monitoring priority diseases and public health events, including Lassa fever, monkeypox, measles, COVID, and other respiratory diseases, rabies, and emerging and re-emerging infections. The entity's call center remains fully operational for 24 hours seconds, staff rotating 4455 that number to make an emergency call where there's an observation on up. They remain committed to strengthening Liberia's capacity to prevent, detect, and respond to public health threats. And as part of their preparedness efforts in response to the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak in parts of East and Central Africa, they continue to strengthen readiness capacities across the country, at the same time strengthening cross-border surveillance collaboration with neighboring countries. So over the last 2 weeks, the MPhil, in collaboration collaboration with the Ministry of Health, the World Health Organization, and the United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention towards 6 of Liberia's counties: Maryland, River G, Grand Gita, Nimba, Bong, and Lofa County bordering Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, and Guinea. They have assessed the readiness capacity at the Freeport of Monrovia and the Rabat International Airport. There are plans to also assess the James Springs, Airfield, and Buck counties. The MPhil wishes to inform the public that there is still no Ebola, not only in Liberia, but in the West African region as well. They, however, encourage the public to continue practicing public health measures, including washing your hands and early reporting to health facilities. The interventions are considered critical to ensuring that Liberia remains prepared for future public health emergencies. The National Public Health Institute continues to maintain.
That's the voice of Liberia Information Minister Jeremy Pia, there reaffirming the government of Liberia commitment to strengthening the country's health sector and supporting efforts aimed at combating disease conflicts. A group of aggrieved citizens on Wednesday gathered near the residence of President Joseph Boakai demanding payment for cleaning services they claimed they provided for several months. Speaking to this station, the spokesperson of the group, Muriah Kondi, claimed that an executive protection service officer as Matthew Walker recruited more than 100 individuals to clean areas from ELW Junction to Duason. Meanwhile, one of the female members of the group, Fatu George, vowed to continue joining protests near the home of the president until payments are made.
I got here this morning for our page because since 3 months ago, Matthew, EPSU, Walker put us together 104 people to work for him. Matthew Walker, EPS, he put us together to work for him. Since 3 months, we've been working, no pay. Every month, he call us, he will give us excuse. When we call him for our pay, he always insult us, tell us things that is not right. We usually work from Duazon all the way here. Okay. Every blessing day we are on the street. Even one time we are off. This is story there. Okay. And anytime, since we've been coming, I've been 2 weeks now to the president place to talk with me. I have not one day come outside and talk with us. I have not one day call us. We are the one that is calling every day, but he cannot reply to us. Some of your friends will come outside sometime and tell us we'll go and talk to him, but he will never return out. Today we stand out here again, pleading for people so they can help us to talk to him. The only thing we want, we just want our place so we can live here. Work for 3 months. He came to us impressive. He called us, told us that we should work, and he will be giving us $50 every month. And each time we work, the month end, he cannot pay us. He always give us excuse. Now we are calling for help, for our own pay. He don't want to respond to us, and he just insulting us. Some of us have little brothers and sisters. Okay. They have mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters that all gathered here. All of them need money to do something. This is a rainy season. We need money to fix our roof, send our children to school, feed them and shelter them. This is the best we can do.
My view, when our community went for our leader, our youth chairman, so I said, you put it first. So you told Emoji, you said, I want for you to put your people together. The president get work. Only thing I will always get. The government will pay my will. Every day I will be here with my kids. Get day off. Started working here from the place. So I already thinking that day when my people talk to us. So I say, you know how many people know us for all the time get on the street. And for me, I say people know me, but man, I see it and I get it. I will work for, I will sleep on the road for me to get my pay. Even though in that place, but it was too pressing for me. Okay. I will do business with it. I got this money for our pay because since 3 months ago, Matthew, EPSU, Walker put us together 104 people to work for him. Matthew Walker, EPS.
When contacted by telephone, the accused EPS officer Matthew Walker acknowledged that payments are now owed to the workers and appealed for patience. He assured the group that they who received 2 months salary payments on Friday, June 26, 2026.
You see some of our friends, the way things can happen, when a kind of money issue, then they can deviate on the fact. All right. The first place is that the work we have been doing it in the voluntary something. They inform you that it was a voluntary thing. They told you about that part. They came in with that part to say, oh, it was a voluntary thing. They didn't tell you about voluntary, right? Hello. It is a voluntary thing that I've been doing on my own. I've been doing it voluntarily on my own until it reached to the paper. It is true, he didn't know. But then he just told us that, oh, I said you've been doing it on your own voluntarily, and you know when people work for you, I mean. That young people are young people, you need to get small thing for water. So then now I will come in. Yes, I've been doing it on my own voluntary attention restoration, but then since you've been doing it, and these are things we expect you the young people to be doing, and when you're having to come up with it, at least we can change in small things as compensation. So when the men were at the end of the day, you can get water to drink. And I have been operating with them. Well, to my utmost of I just see all of them start coming here, holding placards and things. And I told them, I said, gentlemen, going down there is. I mean, it's not a way forward. It's not a way forward. Y'all be rare. I don't want to call you. I don't want we've been working together. So if you're moving friend to go on that side, I mean, it means no sense. Who is going to down there now? Me, who the hell? Who been carrying you? Just leave me behind. All the things I do here, I do it on my own. You're feeling here. I don't want to provide food for you. For the conversation of nobody. So if you're leaving me behind, you're going to the president resident. Now the president tells you you're going to you go clean up. That means they want to you to tell you why he said that. To me, he said it. So you can know where to go now to go hold placard, fellow. Yes. I got. They get confirming the first time they did it 1-2 times. Say, your way. Everything we do here, you got to do it patient. Young people, you have to be patient. So that's what happened. Somebody who so to do that particular thing for all that document I carry to the person. The person do got a lot of box of work on there. They put the paper down. And another somebody well and just take one and call it. You know, what we're talking about it. I got a big money means to go through somebody to see the person too. It's not easy for me. Easy? No. But everything is under control. I say yeah, everything will be under control. Trust me. To the day, yeah. So let's say for now to Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday. So Friday the latest. You see some of our friends. The way things can happen when it comes to money.
That's the voice of the accused EPS officer Matthew Walker, acknowledging that payments are owed to the workers and appealed for patience. He assured the group that they who received 2 months' salary payments on Friday, June 26, 2026, when a group of aggrieved citizens on Wednesday gathered near the residence of President Joseph Boakai demanding payment for cleaning services they claimed they provided for several months. This time around, Stephen Talu, he comes in with the passion of last post.
The Liberia Football Association LFA has concluded a 2-day beginner training course for aspiring match commissioners at its headquarters in Monrovia. The training focused on competition regulations, match day management, official documentation, and the FIFA Connect assisting to help participants improve the professional management of local football competitions. LFA Secretary General Emma Crichton congratulated the participants and praised the former LFA President Councillor Zeto Wesley and her team for conducting the training. Councillor Wesley thanked the LFA leadership for the supporting efforts to develop qualified match officials, while participants expressed their appreciation for the opportunity. Still in Liberia, that's Nathan F. Reed's Charity Memorial High School delegation is expected to leave Pinsville this Thursday for Kumasi, Ghana, to participate in an international high school football friendly. The Liberian champions will face Ashanti Region High School football champions OC Karetui Senior High School on Friday. Charity has money 2025-26 National High School Sports Cup defeated Buchanan Open Bible Standard School in the final plate at the SKD Sports Complex. OC Karetui Senior High School is a longer-standing football champion in Ghana's Ashanti region. Charity High School becomes the second Liberian school to travel to Ghana for an international football engagement, following Waterward High School winners of the inaugural National High School Sports Cup. The team has received a boost for star players Ralph Weir and Avin Colley joining the squad after receiving permission from their clubs to travel. And United States President Donald Trump is expected to attend the FIFA World Cup final and help present the trophy. According to FIFA President, Gianni Infantino from Haiti has not yet attended a World Cup match, but could make an appearance before the final scheduled for July 19 at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. The tournament, which began on June 11, is being hosted by United States, Canada, and Mexico, with the U.S. staging 78 of the 104 matches. Asked whether he and President Trump would present the trophy together, Infantino said they are always together. And that's the sport.
Thanks to Stephen Tallow there for the Passion of Last post to more development. Former legislative liaison to the Liberian Senate, Senator Johnson, that Senator Sano Johnson has expressed concern over what he described as the government's slow response to the recent drug seizure case valued at approximately 19 million United States dollars. Recently, state authorities announced the seizure of cocaine valued at more than 19 million, which government says it is investigating. Speaking Tuesday on the matter, Johnson claimed that Boubacar Kounta administration is not adequately prepared to tackle drugs trafficking and the sale of narcotics across the country.
Since the 9th, right, the whole saga started around the 9th. I think the government is not ready to fight drugs, and they should not pretend to us. There where I came from, and people started to think that they could corner me. I say, hell no, I will let the drug go, but I will not be cornered. No way. Listen, if we want to fight drugs and have it totally eliminated or bring it to some level of control, the big guns involved must be named and shamed. The big guns. There are bigger guns involved. There's no children play. There's no guy in the street taking coach or smoking opium passing around here. You're talking about cocaine coming from one country to a small country like Liberia. We got 6 million people. 85% of those 6 million people, they are young people. So who is this? Somebody destroy the younger generation of this country and we're taking it for fun. Somebody say the cocaine will pass some here. They have found a market here. So it is not a joke. You went to RIA. You saw $19 million worth for cocaine. That's where I got confused. The DA, the DLDA, right? Mm-hmm. They should have arrested that very moment and take it to their headquarters so that those drugs can be under their custody. You took it to the Liberian National Police headquarters. Don't you have warehouses in your place? You've been taking kush here. You've been taking, how to call it, all kind of drugs. You don't take them to the Liberian National Police. You don't carry them to your headquarters.
Oh, they didn't carry it to the
reports. So what are they doing to the Liberian National Police headquarters? But when you go and raid these small ghettos, you handcuff people, you disgrace them. Now when it comes to the cocaine business you want to play with, we will not be quiet on this. There are big guns involved. No small boy can do cocaine business. It is not possible. It is not. So people are making money, all of us, and destroying our younger generation. The poor, no anybody in their 40, above 40, 50, you're not finding in ghetto. Yeah, I read 50, where am I going to look for smoking cocaine or taking drugs? So it's between 15, 16, 17, 18. And they are destroying the future of those future leaders. All of the big guns are involved. Their children are not here. All of the children are going to good schools. Their children are not in the ghettos. And the market of children in the ghetto. So how long when they arrest people in the ghetto? In less than 24 hours, they are handcuffed, placed in pickup bike, paraded through all the streets of Monrovia, and they take them to court. So how long? Since the 9th, we're going 2 weeks from what I have seen.
Meanwhile, Senator Johnson has disclosed plans to contest the 2029 senatorial election in Bome County. He stated that he is preparing to challenge incumbent Senator Edwin Snow for the county Senate seat during the upcoming election cycle.
When Snow and I met 2 weeks ago, I told you, I said, Mr. Senator, it's a seat I'm coming for. And he laughed about it. I said, well, man, serious. I said, I'm coming for that time. Yeah, and so we tried to say, okay, I mean, let's everybody why. That's the beauty of democracy. And then he saw me had a very nice conversation. I said, "Oh, Senator," I said, "You know what? I said, my man, I'm coming for your job 2029. He said, "You are welcome." Of course, unless for obvious reason, but I'm sure God's going to carry me through. And with his blessings and his protection and permission, I will be on the ballot. I will be on the every ballot. All of the guys or ladies who want to run, they are all citizens of Bombay. They are all qualified. They have it's a competition now. They are all sons and daughters of Bombay. They are all decent people. But just that one person have the win. And so we're telling whoever win, whoever the person will be, they all rally around the person. So we are not enemies. No. I think about 4, 6, 7 months back, darling, outside and we talk. So I'm talking with everybody. Not because I want to be senator, they are not enemies to me. No. We are all the same. Let's say we're all one family. When Sue and I met with
That's the voice of the Bombay County former Senator Sandra Johnson there speaking. Finally, from the newsstand this evening, former Assistant Minister Benente Koluba says the Congress for Democratic Change has reaffirmed resilient despite what he described as years of suppression and intimidation since its establishment 22 years ago. Speaking during activities marking the party's 22nd anniversary in Grand Jita County, Koluba said the CDC was funded to protect the interests of ordinary Liberians and ensure that citizens play a greater role in shaping the country's future. He urged that the party has continued to represent the aspiration of the masses despite political challenges and setbacks.
There has been this misinterpretation of the CDC. The CDC has survived suppression, intimidation for 22 good years in the struggle for the masses. The people who what are considered the aborigine of the land, who have been marginalized by the few elites of the 5% of the population. They feel that their destiny should be into their own hands. They cannot be in the majority of the country, and they are headed by the minority who continue to suppress it. That is on the foundation for which the revolution was born. It has survived all kinds of chicanery, all kinds of distraction, all kinds of suppression, until the revolution took over the state. Still, this group of intellectuals or call themselves intelligentsias still fought hard to ensure that the revolution was short-circuited. And so we're here to remove the short circuit from the line, that the masses will have control over their lives through this political architecture. So the CDC, as a political party, as a conduit for the masses, is here to reawaken and reassure the people, the masses, that the CDC is still alive. And the CDC remembers its origins. It remembers its masses base. That's why we are not at the Boulevard Palace celebrating for example. That's why we are not at the Hotel Boulevard Royal Grand. Or we are not in the ballroom. We are here in the open field where the masses feel comfortable, where they interact with nature. So we're here for that purpose. The CDC is here, firstly, to celebrate and appreciate the fact that men and women who believe that their destiny should not be in the hands of the few elites. It should be in the hands of in their own hands through this political architecture, come to celebrate and reflect on those 22 years of intimidation.
That's the voice of the former Assistant Minister Benente Koluba there saying the Congress for Democratic Change has remained resilient despite what he described as years of suppression and intimidation since its establishment 22 years ago. With this is how we come to the end of today's edition of News Point. It has been a production of the News and Current Affairs Department at the Blaze Communications Network Incorporated. Before we go, a recap of the major stories to follow. Tensions are reportedly escalating at the Central Agricultural Research Institute as the former head of the Livestock and Fisheries Program, Yankwe Joma, accuses the institution's Director General of dismissing him due to his stance on accountability. Government of Liberia dismisses reports linking the country's diplomatic punch system to the drugs trafficking investigation, says there is no evidence connecting the system to the transportation of illicit substances. A group of aggrieved citizens on Wednesday gathered near the home of President Joseph Boakai, demanding payment for cleaning services they provided for several months. And away from home, France confirms its first case of Ebola involving a doctor who recently returned from a humanitarian mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I want to say thanks to all of you for your listening role. Many thanks to Stephen Talu, who was here with the news bulletin and the Passion of Life post. Clifton Rainey sat at control and handled the technical aspect of the program. From beyond the entire production team at the Blaze Communications Network Incorporated. My name is Oliver McIntosh, our presenter. Good evening. Bye-bye.